Hey everyone, my name is Benjamin Ross, Benny Ross, as most people know me by now. If you're on YouTube, I'm Retro Universe. If you're on DeviantArt, I'm Retro Universe Art. He also grew up in the 90s, the 80s too, but I definitely saw the 90s an awful lot. Hmm. What a time to be alive and be a kid who understands television. Why not? If you're going to start with the Disney Afternoon line, got to go with the one that was first up in the line. Yes, yes, you are correct. ABC from I think it was no, it was 3 in the afternoon to 5 in the afternoon. They would show four Disney animated television shows. The first lineup, if I remember, and I can be wrong, this has been a while, but I remember the first one of the lineup was DuckTales, followed by Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Oh, you're right. And you know what? I think Gummy Bears came on before DuckTales. Recycling. Yeah, you know what? Disney's Robin Hood recycles a lot of animation, including its own, and it's one considered an underrated Disney classic. So why complain about recycling on when Disney does it to their TV shows? Okay, the 80s, I think that consisted of like you said, The Great Mouse Detective, The Black Cauldron, Oliver and Company, and The Little Mermaid. Came out 89, I believe, so it counts. Right. It is. It definitely is. I still kind of have a nice appreciation for the original, but I think I find myself enjoying the reboot a little more, if not a lot more. Hmm. Right. Well, well, props to the writers at Disney for taking candy and turning it into that. Well, no surprise, they call it gummy berry juice. I think there's like a song on the Disney Afternoon soundtrack about it that talks about how it gets made. And on the show, it has a different effect depending on who drinks it. It specifically was made for gummy bears to make them bounce like kangaroos. But if a person drinks it, they would gain super strength for a whole minute. Unfortunately, as a side effect, it only works once a day. Yeah. Ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. Tailspin, friends for life through thick and thin with another tailspin. All the trouble we get in with another tailspin. Can't. Oh, hey, Kyle. Yeah, I linked this chat to the friends over in the team player chat group. I figured I'd help us gain some more audience members tonight. Anthropomorphic. You're welcome. I think he was a derogatist. One of those characters that's both a good guy and a bad guy, though Shere Khan didn't really have any ill intentions, any evil schemes in the show. He was pretty much just like the Lex Luthor of the Disney universe. So sorry if I'm wrong about this too. But I did read about or hear somewhere that originally Tailspin was going to be a spin-off of DuckTales, and it would be Launchpad, who's the main character of it. But yeah, but they changed it to make Baloo and King Louie and Shere Khan main characters in it, because the Jungle Book got a reissue in theaters around the time, and also the Jungle Book VHS was selling, and it was like really popular. And Disney, they definitely love to capitalize on what's popular at the time. Well, it was the last Disney film that he personally supervised. Yeah. Hmm. Voiced by the great Jim Cummings. Hmm. Oh, Kid Cloud Kicker. Cloud Kicker. Hmm. 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 Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers. I know I'm such a cartoon dork. I have pretty much all the Disney afternoon theme songs memorized in my head. I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the 1 hour YouTube video that never lets you sleep. I am Darkwing Duck. Jimmy Rock swoops out from the shadows. Darkwing is a villain, but numbers up 3, 2, 1. Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck. It was. Drake Mallard? Drake Mallard. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. It's his character flaw that makes him likable. He's a superhero with an ego. He's a superhero. He fights crime, but kind of for the wrong reasons. Not entirely, but he does do it for like the fame and the attention and the admiration, which is why he reacts so easily and negatively when people are praising Gizmo Duck and intentionally mispronouncing his name. He does. I think I think when I was a kid, my favorite villain was the Liquidator. Uh huh. Exactly. Mm. And of course, we got Quackerjack, who's clearly the Joker. Well, it's a Disney cartoon. The screen is black. Yeah. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I see it. Doesn't look that bad. Trust me, I've seen worse. I'm talking like MS Paint worse. You know, with all the references that are in the 2017 DuckTales reboot, I wouldn't be surprised if not only did they try to recreate the Disney afternoon, but make it a whole universe. So it's like these aren't just characters on separate shows; they're also characters in the same universe. I mean, there's been mentions of Saint Canard, that's where Darkwing Duck lives, and Cape Suzette, that's where Tailspin takes place. Well, yeah, it depends. There's some shows that they might not be able to pull it off. The top Disney afternoon show that I definitely don't see getting worked into the Ducktales for obvious reasons is Quack Pack, and it's because Donald and the nephews, they're already in the show, and Donald's become a more active character than he has in the original. It was a world of fear. But before we describe them, I'd like to take this opportunity to mention a good number of the cast of gargoyles is voiced by actors who were on Star Trek: The Last Generation. Now, the best way I can describe gargoyles is like Disney's response to Warner Brothers' Batman the Animated Series, with Shakespeare thrown into the mix. They didn't just show hints of it. It's been, I've read the I don't know if it's still going on. It probably isn't, but the most recent comics, they've actually confirmed that Goliath and Elise do officially become a couple. So yes, they do end up together. Mm. She's also a very tragic character. I mean, when you see her backstory in the 4-part City of Stone episode, you see exactly what she went through, what she and Macbeth went through immediately after the betrayal of Goliath's clan and the destruction of Castle Wyvern. Not total destruction, but that night when the Vikings attacked and just pretty much smashed a majority of Goliath's clan. You wouldn't be the only one. Yeah. Today's audience is looking at the first episode. The gargoyles were shown to be defending the castle, helping defending the people living in it. And how do those people thank them? By keeping them banished outside. By the princess saying, "Please don't mention that monster's name in my presence." And I'm like, lady, if it wasn't for that quote monster, Your castle would be in rubble, your people would be enslaved, and you would be dead. She said, "Please don't mention that monster's name in my presence." It's okay. Jeff Bennett, yeah, he did voice Brooklyn, and he also voices some other characters on the show, like Owen Burnett, who is David Xanatos's kind of like kind of like he's like the Wilford to Xanatos's Batman. That's the best way to put it. And it's okay. And without spoiling anything, he also voices another character called Puck, who is the complete opposite of Owen. That android character. Huh. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really that big of a Trekkie. I just, it's okay. Yeah, I just kind of learned that the voice actors were from that show by um, looking at their IMDb pages or watching the intro to Star Trek: The Next Generation on YouTube.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I,
Bill Fagerback.
AKA
Yeah. Ed Eisner. Um, Storm Blitz is saying, "Sorry, I'm just trying to distract myself so I don't cough or something like that. I think anyway. If Ben is talking right now, I can't hear him." No, I don't think so. I mean, Kyle was able to hear us. Is everybody else hearing us okay out there? Okay, so Kyle can hear me, but he can't hear you. Okay. While Ben is checking out his microphone, I'll keep him covered. So, anybody got if anybody's who's watched the Disney Afternoon or any of the Disney Afternoon shows, a majority of them are available on DVD. If you don't want, we can discuss your favorite show, your favorite episode from your show. Just talk about these little happy, energetic moments.
How about now? Can anybody hear me now? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Can anybody hear me now? Can you hear me fine now, Benny?
I can still hear you. I've been able to hear you the whole time.
Alright, everybody in the chats, can anybody hear me now? Because if that was the case, the majority of the stream just ended. Basically, this entire stream, everybody heard Benny and not me. Wow, I'm pretty up. You can hear me good. Okay. And Giladash, that's not fair. You have Black Ops 4. That is not fair. Do not get... I'm playing to get that game. Don't tell me what that game's about. I'm playing to get that game. But still, God, what was I saying now? We might have to use...
It's okay. Yeah, we were talking about the gargoyles from the Disney Afternoon lineup.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
The show I was trying to say is Broadway was he's my favorite character. Out of all the characters, well, aside from Goliath, I kind of like Broadway. He's more funny and humorous. And Lexington, okay, how do we describe Lexington in this show?
And Lexington is the guy who's most interested in the high-tech stuff.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Lexington, okay, in the beginning of the episode, he doesn't know, oh God, what did he do in the pilot episode? I forgot some scenes, but I do know some of them, though.
Well, if I remember, in the pilot, after chasing off the Vikings that first night, he and Brooklyn, they were playing fetch with Bronx while Broadway was feeding himself.
Bronx was adorable, I'm not gonna lie. He was an adorable little gargoyle dog. But yeah, I kind of like the show. I really recommend that show to everybody here. You're gonna love it. Sure, there's gonna be some darker tones in the show, but I really urge you guys to watch it. But now for another show in the Disney Afternoon lineup is Aladdin. Okay, we're gonna talk about this show too. For those who do not know, the very first Disney sequel that Disney made, Return of Jafar, was basically a 2-part pilot episode for this series. But the reason why it wasn't aired on television was because, well, they couldn't fund it, so it's like, you know what, put it in direct-to-video sequel. If it gets good audience, then we'll make it into a show.
Well, it obviously must have sold enough because they did turn it into a show.
Yeah, I really have some negative thoughts on that sequel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm sorry. But I will review that in another time. I will try to say it in a positive way, but I cannot hold any promises. But the show, however, the show is very interesting. Like, we actually got an introduction of new characters, like, oh god, there's like many villains to choose from, like Mosin Wrath, which, oh my god, this...
Well, sorry, about Mosin Wrath. He was actually originally written to be in Aladdin and the King of Thieves, and he was going to be revealed to be Aladdin's brother.
Which, that would have made a very interesting arc. Like, oh great, we're siblings. So, I think originally, saving Mosin Wrath from being his life being sucked out of from the gauntlets, I think that would have been an interesting film, but I still liked Aladdin and the King of Thieves, though. It was still a good movie. But Mosin Wrath, though, was a very interesting wizard. or magician. I keep forgetting if he's both of those, but I'm saying he's a magician. But I think he makes Jafar look like a child's play. Like child's play. Like, he could actually single-handedly capture a genie with certain relics that you could capture a djinn. And he can actually control certain creatures like the Shirako, I think that's the creature, the cloud wolf's name. Shirako, I think. I don't know, but... Anyways, I kind of liked him as a villain, but there's also Mirage, Abyss Maul, obviously.
This makes me laugh. How they came up with his name. Abysmal.
Abysmal. Abysmal.
And the icing on the cake having him voiced by Jason Alexander.
Yeah. Stormblitz, if you're pulling a Team 4-star Dragon Ball reference, A for effort, though? I'm going to give you an A for effort, though. But still, yeah, like, I just don't get some characters. And okay, there was some episodes of that show that really... I really wanted to stick a pin in, like, niggle a little, if that makes any sense. Like, oh god, what was one episode? The episode where Jasmine was turning into a snake because of some lotion that Aladdin gave her. That was from Mirage, testing their love. But, oh my god. I do get the moral is that if someone who loves you for just being you, regardless of what happens, and will stay by you no matter what, I give A for effort on that. But how they executed that, how they executed that moral in that episode was a little forced. But there is another show that I also liked is Timon and Pumbaa because, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is basically a spin-off show after, from one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. But I really love the intro song of Timon and Pumbaa. Like, I just love the upbeat version of Hakuna Matata. Like, oh my god. That was my Disney. My Disney vibe was immediately... I actually sang along to this song. But if I hear that song being played... Oh, hey, voice actor Bobby G, welcome. Yeah, but if I hear the song of Hakuna Matata being played, like the Timon and Pumbaa version one, you're gonna hear me singing along to it.
Timon and Pumbaa, they got so much attention. I feel so bad for Simba.
Yeah, I kind of do feel bad for Simba too. I mean, they did make some episodes with him in it, like the Roman Gladiator Tournament episode, and they did have some episodes with Zazu, particularly the one where he lost his job for missing one animal, which was himself. It was funny. Your housekeeping is not what I'm concerned, Zazu. It's your record keeping I find atrocious. That freaking episode was funny as hell. I actually love Zazu's sassiness. And the way that he says, need I remind you, I am... Oh, God, what did he say in that part? I forgot what he described himself as. But I never am off by one.
Oh, my God, yes. Kyle brought up in the House of Mouse. Simba does state the reference that Timon and Pumbaa get all the attention, despite the franchise or the movie title being called The Lion King.
Well, you gotta be fair with that, is Timon and Pumbaa were the very funny side characters. Can I say I was big on Disney Afternoons? I really didn't get the option to enjoy that stuff. Can't say I was... Oh, you didn't have the option? You didn't get the option? Oh, well, they do sell certain shows from that timeline. They actually aired it on Toon Disney, and I think it's still on iTunes. Like, some of the shows are on iTunes, Gildadash.
And if you know where to look, most of them are available on DVD.
That is true. If you want to, Dash, I could actually... Oh, God. Do you want my recommendations of what shows you could watch first, Gildadash? If so, just let me know, because I have some recommendations for you. Voice actor Bobby G says his favorite 90s cartoon is Tailspin. That's understandable, voice actor. It's understandable. That show was pretty good. Hold on. Oh, okay. Thank you, Kyle, for bringing this up. Need I remind you that I come from a long line of jungle administrators, and none have ever been off by one.
You do a pretty good Zazu voice.
I can't force that to save my skin, guys. I'm sorry. But thank you, though.
No, seriously. That was a very good Zazu.
You guys really... Okay, let me say this line again. Hold on. I need to drink this water before I do it from the show.
So besides Timon and Pumbaa, the show also consisted of some halftime shows with Rafiki, as well as the three hyenas.
Oh, I think I remember their names. Sansi, Banzi, Ed. I hope I said those three names right, but...
Shenzi, Bonsai, and Ed.
Okay, thank you. Bonsai, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, let me do this again, guys. And I want you guys' honest answer if you guys think I sound like a legit Sazu. If so, please comment the word do Sazu fandom videos. Here we go. Okay, here, thank you, Kyle. I'm here to announce that King Mufasa is on his way. So you better have a good excuse for missing the ceremony this morning. Okay. Hold on, let me do that line one more time. Oh, here we go. Need I remind you that I come from a long line of jungle administrators, and none have ever been off by one. Voice actor Bobby G. The hyena episodes are my favorite in the show. Really? Who remembers Treasure Planet? Stormblitz. Thank you for bringing that up, but I will actually make a podcast regarding Treasure Planet in another time.
Yeah, but I also agree. Treasure Planet is... I don't want to say it's just underrated. I want to say it's like severely underrated. Unfairly underrated, for that matter.
I actually think Treasure Planet actually was amazing. And a lot of people could say it actually is starting to grow a fandom now. It actually has its own fandom. Which is a thing.
Sorry. I want to go back a bit to both Darkwing Duck. Yeah. Mostly Darkwing Duck, but also the Lion King movie. These were like one of the first instances of Disney having same-sex parents. You think about it. Goslin was raised by Darkwing and Launchpad, and Simba was taken care of by Timon and Pumbaa.
I think Benny here just brought a very solid point. Gildash, if you're still in the chat logs, I think you could point this out for a bit, but I really think the 90s cartoon shows actually showed a little support of the LGBT community. Which, I really think I applaud Disney for pulling that little trick. I'm starting to notice that, too. And I
didn't catch it when I was a kid, but as an adult looking at it, I definitely acknowledge it, and it makes me love it even more.
I actually think that if Disney actually legit makes a animated Disney feature with a gay or lesbian or even a transgender... then, oh my god, I would thank Disney for that. And, what else? Oh, yes, another show I wanted to also talk about, along with Timon and Pumbaa, is The Mighty Ducks. Oh,
yes! That is my #1 favorite Disney show of the 90s. I wish they would bring it out on DVD already.
Didn't they do that, though?
No. The only home video release it had was on VHS, and they took both parts of the first face-off with the episode Puck Hard and made that Mighty Ducks the movie the first face-off as a feature-length film. It's edited, but it's not edited in a bad way. They did have the original voice actors re-record some lines. But still, that series is so wonderful, and it was that series that actually inspired me to create GEP.
Really?
Yeah. One night when I did when I was hosting a cartoon night with my friends, and I was doing sort of a Mighty Ducks marathon with them, I told them that this show is the parents of GEP.
Yeah, hold on. Gilded Dash, I can't really agree because there was plenty of shows with same-sex adults raising kids without them being involved in any way. That's true. That is logically true, but what I'm trying to say is, Dash, that's that Disney doesn't show LGBT couples until the episode of Good Luck Charlie, which, yeah, we all know how people overreacted to that, especially with religious homes. They were like, oh my god, Disney is now trash because they allowed some, oh god, I cannot believe I'm saying this.
I know. It's like, okay, so you seem to be okay with Timon and Pumbaa raising Simba or Darkwing Duck and Launchpad raising Gosling, but you bat an eyebrow when Disney intentionally has two same-sex couples together.
Yeah, but
and these are new created characters. These were not old characters that they just decided to make gay. These are brand new characters that have been romantically involved with each other from the get-go, and they still keep it PG, of course. And you want to make a big fuss about this?
Yeah, but there's another thing too. Is in the show of Gravity Falls at the finale, those two cops. Oh god, I forgot their names, but those two cops were actually hinted as gay. But then at the end of the weird Mageddon episodes, they actually revealed as like love. I actually screamed, "Can you two just flipping kiss already?"
Exactly. It's like, Disney, stop hinting and just do it already. Don't be afraid of what naysayers are saying, you know? People are going to hate, but that shouldn't stop you from trying something new.
Okay, I want to make this very abundantly clear to everybody in this chat, including Gilded Ash. Look, I'm a Christian. I don't show it that much in my videos, but here's the thing. It really ticks me off that people that claim to be Christians or Catholic or even Jews claiming that we should show compassion and love to everybody, and yet when we see something that it's quote-unquote a sin, yet we look at them with a harsh eye, which, may I remind you, we sin too. And people say, oh, let's remove the plank out of this person's one eye, but not look at our own? That is total hypocrisy.
It is. It flat out is.
Just a thing, if you want to see a funny cartoon, look up Count Duckula. Count Duckula, huh? Alright, I need to save that so that way I can just copy. And okay. I'll actually look into that. Thank you, Gildash. I'll actually look into that show. Thank you. But yeah, my point is you shouldn't bash on something that those who are non-singular, you know?
Exactly.
Don't be discriminating people. I mean, if people say that we can't discriminate African Americans or Mexicans or whatever, like, you need to do the same thing with people that are part of the LGBTQ community. Which, again, Gilded Ash, I'm sorry guys that I'm a little bit, we're way off topic of this podcast, but I'm just very ticked off of people that bash on Disney for that. Because of that episode of Good Luck Charlie. That really ticks me off. And people are saying, no, I think people need to be okay with being themselves. And I think, and I'm saying this is a big if, mind you, if they did make a show or movie that has a LGBT character, I would be content to watch more Disney movies.
Same here. Okay, back on topic.
Yes, back on the topic at hand. Where were we talking about before the whole?
We were at the Mighty Ducks.
Yes. Okay, I actually will let you take the floor on that one. Why is it a good show?
Well, for one thing, it's a superhero show, but it also plays as a comedy, and it balances the action and the comedy out really well. And you could say this is like one of those Ninja Turtle clones, except it pretty much avoids every Ninja Turtles trope there is. You know, the Ducks weren't mutated. They weren't people mutated into animals or animals mutated from something else. These were highly evolved life forms that come from a whole other universe.
Mm-hmm.
And their people, they were being suppressed by this dinosaur dragon named Lord Dragonus.
Oh yes, voiced by Tim Curry. I remember this character.
And one of his minions, voiced by Tony J. I believe that would be Wraith, who's like the magician, the sorceress of the Saurians. And also want to point out Clancy Brown, famous for voicing Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob, is Siege, who is not only Dragonus' muscle man, but also his mechanic, the guy who builds all these machines and weapons.
Oh, damn. Oh, wait, there's another one that's like a gecko that can shapeshift his face to various characters. What was his name?
Chameleon.
Oh, duh, obviously. Sorry, but I remember this one episode, though. I think I have seen some episodes, particularly with the one where they try to stop Dragonus from getting the codes of the missiles, so that way he can actually rule the world, which is threatening to launch the nuclear missiles.
Mm-hmm. That was the episode I mentioned earlier, Puck Hard.
Yeah, that episode, I actually laughed over this cop saying, "I got 2 words for you, jerk face." That one.
You're busted!
Hang on. Okay, but yeah, I really liked that episode so much. It was so funny. The way that the donut actually fell in his face, he smelled like...
Yeah, this is what I was saying about how the show has an excellent balance of action and comedy. They're superheroes, but they're not like DC serious superheroes or even Marvel type superheroes. They're a superhero all in their own class. Especially some of the characters who break the fourth wall.
Oh.
Seriously. Yeah. It's like the one character, Nosedive, who's the brother to Wild Wing. He's broken the wall so many times he makes Pinkie Pie look like an amateur.
Really? Oh,
yeah, really.
Oh, Lord. I'd have to rewatch the show now. Oh, my gosh. Rachel. Oh, sorry, guys, if you saw me chatting on Skype. Oops, sorry. Well, god damn it. I need to stop doing that. Stop doing what the... yeah. Yeah, I was asking Rachel Harrow if she's able to join in the stream. If she is not able to, that is completely understandable.
Yeah, if she can, bring her in.
No, I can't. I just have to wait for her response. I'm sorry, guys. I have to uncensor that because I'm about to do some other things too, to research personal information with my real name, address, and all that stuff. I'm not... Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is why I need to be mentally... Yeah. Oh, I see.
Also, Mighty Ducks had one of those theme songs that just got you hyped up for whatever episode was going to happen.
Really? How did he do that?
Well, I don't want you to play the episode. I don't want you to play the clip on YouTube for fear of getting your video claimed and demonetized. So I'm just going to say this. The episodes, the intro by itself, they're all on YouTube. Everyone's free to look them up just to experience it for yourself. Words just can't describe it. If Pinkie Pie heard me, she would break through my computer screen right now and tell me challenge accepted and ask me where to find this, quote, nosedive.
Oh, God. Okay, no, I think that's a fan art way to happen. Okay, guys in the chats, make this a thing. If you want... I'm sorry, Benny, for saying this.
Stop apologizing. That is a funny idea.
That is a good fan art idea. Guys in the chats, this is a challenge for Benny. If you guys wanted to make a fan art of Pinkie Pie bursting out of Benny's laptop in his beast or his pony persona form saying challenge accepted. Where is this nosedive? And let us go with this game. Please make a spam of do it. In all caps, do it.
Well, if I get a lot of support for doing it, it is going to be a while. This month I'm reopening commissions, so unless someone happens to commission me that pick, it is going to be a while. And besides commissions, I'm also helping a friend with a top secret project. I say it's top secret because I'm not really allowed to go into detail about it until it does get released, which it will be. It's going to be on his Tumblr page.
Oh, speaking of commissions, I might have to send you, I do want to get a little bit of, oh, no, not the camera, whoops. I do not want you guys to see me right now because I look garbage today, but still. Yeah, I do want to forward you a $15 commission artwork. I can send you, I can tell you the details of what I want to, well, you know, what God.
It's okay, man. Just take a deep breath. Say words a little slower. Just speak a little slower, okay?
Okay. Blood for the blood god and skulls for... That wasn't a word, Betty. That's from Gilgamesh. Blood for
I know. I see it too.
That's one. Okay. I'm not sure if you have PayPal, but I could forward you the $15. But the commission, if you want me to retype this for you, this is my commission from you, is me in my Griffin form, like, you know, like anthropomorphic form, whatever, fighting against, God, which character? I want this to be good. I would say Darth Vader, but that's a little bit too Star Wars fanboy.
There's plenty of other sword-wielding villains to choose from.
Yes, that is true. Which ones? Oh, God, there's so many good ones. I would say Jafar's genie form, but that's too, no.
I can do that.
Okay, with him, like, him and his G form trying to shoot at me with Force Lightning, and me deflecting it with my with a Garflex lightsaber, or the Return of the Jedi hilt. I'm fine with the Return of the Jedi color.
Okay, so I'm not open yet, but tomorrow I am gonna post a journal about details on the commissions and any new updates. Okay. And Sunday, the day that I do open, I will post a green light journal. That'll be the signal to just type in your order. And yes, I do have a PayPal.
Okay, I think I do want to forward that to you now, like, so that way I can just get a head start. Because yes, knowing what's gonna happen with me with work, I'm gonna forget. I'm a busy man, guys, in the chats. I'm a very busy man, and due to the fact that I have work, it makes my mind go...
Gotcha. Usually I do first come, first serve, but
True.
Honestly, I do like giving new people a chance to get a commission, and if it's just going to be that pick of Euro C fighting against Genie Jafar, that would only round you $10.
Wait, I think I want to change the Jafar part. Sorry about that, dude. I'm sorry for the...
That's okay. You got a few days to think over the full details.
Okay, but... Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking really hard what to make this good. I want this to be good. I might introduce this at the end of my videos. Ah, no! Shoot, I did it again. There you go. I just send you my PayPal address. Like, alright. But yeah, I'll give it to you guys in a minute. Oh, and Rachel is able to be in the call, everybody. So I'm gonna put her in.
Excellent.
Alright. Let me just see if I can put her in. Where is she? Okay, she should be in here right now. But okay. While we're waiting for Rachel, yeah, okay, I need to think about this, but I'll DM you the, you know, what I want the $10 commission artwork to look like, you know? And okay, is unavailable. Oops. Okay. It's alright. It's alright. She's busy. That's fine. Anyways, alright. Sorry. And that's fine, but still. Jeez, my mind is seriously blank right now, guys. Oh, oops. Oops. Sorry, Rachel. Take your time. Oh, hold it. Let me do this one more time. But yeah, okay, now I got what I was trying to say. I was trying to say when I figure out what I want the $10 commission artwork to look like, I'll just tell you. I'll just DM it to you on Skype.
Good enough.
Okay. Now, here's the thing, guys. Oh yes, back to the cartoon shows of the 90s and 2000s. Now we're gonna go to the 2000 category with the introduction of other new shows like Kim Possible. Oh my god. How we describe this show? I mean, the shows from the early 2000s. This was like during the time when the Disney Renaissance was at its end. Oh my god, Gilda Dash, you are a genius. Favorite Disney villain? Thanos. Actually, that would be interesting. Gilda Dash, I think you just helped me out. Thank you, Gilda Dash. But yeah, I'll DM you the details. Ben, you did it again. You breakingly hearts got lost in the game, and I have no idea where I'm going with this. Really, Stormblitz, why are you blaming me? Like, I don't know what you blame me for. Come on, man. What's wrong with you? What's the matter with you? Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
Yes, that was a Disney animated TV show in the 90s and 2000s.
I must not fanboy. Okay, my inner fanboy is composed right now. But yes,
hey, it's your live stream. Fanboy to your heart's desire.
I love Buzz Lightyear's, the Buzz Lightyear series. Like, a part of me really loved the character in the Toy Story films. I loved this show too, because it showed us what it was like as a space, like how it was with Buzz Lightyear's character in Star Command and fighting against the Emperor Zurg. And if I'm not mistaken, the Emperor Zurg was voiced by the character who did Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's Wayne Knight. Yeah. And by the way,
Rachel.
Rachel, welcome to the podcast. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That actually stumped me a bit. Hey, Rachel, welcome.
It's alright. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Welcome. Yes, everybody. Rachel is in the Jedi Griffon Podcast. Welcome. But yes.
Hello.
But oh god, now my mind just went blank there.
Yeah, I guess that kind of happens when I make a special surprise entrance right there. So, yeah, you got yeah. I was just coming in when you guys were talking about Buzz Lightyear, and I do recall watching the Buzz Lightyear TV show back then. I did not get a chance to watch the entire show, but I do remember several episodes I could think of, and I remember when the pilot movie came out, like the Adventure Begins, I think it's called. Is that right? The Adventure Begins?
Yeah, you're correct.
That's the pilot episode with Tim Allen voicing as Buzz Lightyear. But throughout the series, he was voiced by Patrick Stewart, I think.
No, not Patrick Stewart. It's Patrick Warburton.
Thank you for correcting me. That's
right.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. I think that Patrick Warburton voicing Buzz in the TV series, I figured it may be a little bit off at first, because I think that he may be trying to sound like Tim Allen, like a little bit too hard because Tim Allen's got that distinctive voice, and of course Patrick Warburton has his own distinctive voice, and that's something we can recall whenever he voices Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove. That's just another example of the voice work that he does there. So again, I think he's portraying as Buzz in that show a little bit too hard there, but at least he shows some nice effort into bringing about our favorite character.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense, but I think I do understand that Patrick is trying, but as you put it, he tries so hard to be the Buzz Light. I like how Tim Allen portrays his Buzz in the Toy Story films, but the problem was, as you put it, he was way off in some lines, but A for effort, though. A for effort, I guess. But yeah, I still love the show, though, I just love the show and the introduction of the characters like, oh god, what was that alien's name? The red one. Oh god, what was his name?
XL?
Thank you, XL. I just like the fact that he was a janitor, but he always dreams of being a space ranger.
Wait, the big red one, that's not XL. XL was...
XLR, that was the little robot.
Oh, yeah, the android.
Yeah, that was my bad.
It's okay.
Booster, that's his name.
Booster, that's it. It's like, his name was right off the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I know exactly who you talk about. The name kind of slipped in my mind there, but I realized, oh my goodness, yes, that's Booster. Thank goodness I was playing the show right on the back of my head there. So
I have not watched that show in years. My nostalgia and memories of that show is a little off. Oh god, I miss being a child.
Well, don't we all? But in the end there, I think we can release our inner child pretty much any day.
True.
Yeah, and also, just so you know, the actor who voices Booster in Buzz Lightyear was Stephen Furst, and Stephen Furst, he's actually done quite a little bit of voice work as well. He was in Freakazoid also.
Oh, hold on. I need to address something to Gildadash in the chats. So lost. You guys are nerds. Yes, we are nerds, Gildadash, but we're proud of being nerds.
Remember, it's nerds that make the world go round.
Ditto on that, Gilded.
We love you, Gilded.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
You beautiful golden hippogriff. Okay, let me clarify this right now. If any of you who start shipping my MLP persona with Gildadash, I'm flattered, but I kind of see Gildadash as like a sister figure. Wow, that sounded so weird. I am so sorry, Gildadash. I'm sorry.
In your defense, some of these fandoms, they have the type of nerds that ship like FedEx.
Yes. Oh god, we'll get
would it be like shipping Goliath with Laverne from Hunchback of Notre Dame? I think that would have been too intense, don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Seriously, did you just pull a Team 4-star reference? Did you just do that? She just screamed, "Nerds!"
Welcome to my world.
Gildash. That hurt me. You really hurt us. That hurt me. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding with you. But yeah. But I really like some of the other shows too. Like, oh god, but I'm not gonna lie, even though there were some great shows from the 90s and 2000s, but there's one show that
before we talked about Buzz Lightyear, you mentioned Kim Possible.
Yes, we did. Yes. Kim Possible was... Okay, how do I delicately say this? It was weird at first. It was just weird about a teenager that just goes around dangerous adventures, fighting bad guys like the Dementor, Dr. Dragon, Monkey Fist. Oh god, what are the villains?
It's kind of like James Bond meets the Men in Black, but with a female lead.
Yeah, and Revenge of the Nerds reference. Oh, so that... Okay, I see that reference. But yeah, like, the show was good. I'm not gonna lie. The Kim Possible was a good show. I really do love the shipping with Kim and Ron, and yes, I ship those two so bad. And I'm finally happy that they kissed at the So the Drama movie is about time. Yes, I actually said that. It's about time.
Yeah, and well, everyone's been pretty much shipping Kim and Ron pretty much since the very beginning of the show, and now by the time they finally get to see these two dates, that would create a whirlwind of reactions, if you know what I mean, like a whirlwind of going like, "Oh my God, that's finally happened!" That kind of reaction there.
Yeah, some of them just faint or just scream. Ah! Like tears of joy. Oh my God. But
like an example of how I know it's not a cartoon, but another example would be like when Rachel finally kissed Ross in Friends. That would be a typical type of reaction we'll be getting too. They'll go like, "Ah, it's finally happened!"
Like we're gonna die. You're killing us with the hearts of our emotions, the feels. You're killing us here. Like, no. Why are people shipping people from an old meme? Darkus, I don't know what you mean by that, but we're talking about Kim Possible and Ron ships. It's not a meme.
Yeah, Storm. I definitely remember Jake Long, American Dragon. First season was great. I love the first season. The second season, not so much.
Oh my God, that show. Thank you for reminding me of this show. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, Storm. Yes, I have watched American Dragon Jake Long. It was an interesting show. I'm not gonna lie. It was good. And I really like the series finale episode where Rose and Jake finally became a couple, and his dad, the thing that really made me laugh to death was when Jake's dad found out the truth of his family, being magical reptiles. It really made me die. Okay, hold on. Rachel, this is to you. For voice actor Bobby G, I'm sorry, but I have to say, this Rachel almost sounds like Peridot from Steven Universe. It's amazing. Hi.
Okay, so, you want to know something really interesting?
What's that?
Well, that's because I really do sound like Peridot when I talk like this, you clod.
Oh, wow, that really is.
And I do have a picture, I do have a drawing of Rachel's OC as Peridot on my DeviantArt account.
Oh. How nice of you, you clod!
Oh God, I hate my laugh. I hate it. I hate my own laugh.
Yeah, come on, Ben. You don't have the worst laugh in the world.
No, if you actually heard my legit laugh, I sound like a hyena that has mucus. And I trust me, you guys do not want to hear that laugh.
You're talking to a guy who watched television in the 80s and 90s. You're talking to a guy who watched Family Matters.
I still watch Family Matters. I actually watch Family Matters, Full House. What other shows did I watch too?
Boy Meets World, Step by Step, Perfect Strangers.
And you're basically talking to a girl who watches cartoons almost daily in her entire life. And you're about to see a lot of craziness going on around me, especially whenever I do my crazy maniacal laugh. Like, I could go as far as like, or going as maniacal as,
That sounds like about a meme. Hold on, Gildash says, and here I am, and I just sound like FNGR. I disagree with that, Gildash, and this is to you, Rachel, from voice actor Bobby G. That is amazing. I just fanboyed so hard. I love cartoons.
Don't we all?
Yes, don't we all? Okay.
Yeah, you want to see real craziness? Join us for one of our movie nights / cartoon nights.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know, Ben. I don't know if I know it may sound like off topic here, but I voice this particular character for this comic dub series. I'm on here on YouTube. It's I Hate Fairyland, and it's on RB Comics channel, and I voice the main character as Gertrude, and basically. On the outside, she looks like a typical 6-year-old, but on the inside, she is actually about over 30-year-old woman who's been trapped in this land known as Fairyland, and it made her becoming some sort of a sociopath, psychopath. Really, like she's just literally mad.
She's a hurricane with green hair.
I see. Hold on.
Cute green hair, so to speak, you muffin fluffer.
Oh dear. Actually.
Yeah, Rachel just loves voicing Gertrude so much. She'll bring out her Gertrude just about any time.
Flop you, Bunny the Beast, flop you. No, I'm just kidding. You're amazing.
Oh, who is? Benny?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he is. I'm not gonna lie, but okay. Oh god. Oh, okay. Aside from the good shows like Kim Possible and American Jacket, there's one show that I'm sorry to say this. I despise one cartoon with a passion that I loathe in the 90s and early 2000s, and that show would be Bonkers. I just don't...
Oh, Bonkers! I love Bonkers.
Mm. I can kind of understand why Ben doesn't like Bonkers. I like it too, but I can't kind of understand it. Originally, it was going to be a cartoon show for Roger Rabbit. At the time, though, there was disputes over who actually owned the character, since the movie studio was made with a combination of Disney and Warner Brothers.
And technically, Warner Brothers had the right to Roger Rabbit. It was a 50-50 share. And during the 90s,
right?
Like
So instead, Disney just created an 100% Roger Rabbit clone titled Bonkers, of course. And like I said, I do enjoy the show. That being said, the big flaw with it is that Roger Rabbit was a movie with live-action humans interacting with cartoon characters. But how can you get away with that when the whole show is a cartoon?
Hold on, let me address something what Gilda is saying. Bonkers was amazing in the day, but nowadays his voice makes me want to stab my eardrums. Oh, I agree with you, Gilda. So not only that, it makes me want to strangle him. I'm sorry, Rachel, for saying that, but you all want to. I really want to be honest with you guys right now. There is a reason why I hate this show. It not only was trying so hard to intimidate Roger Rabbit, but the fact is that he always causes trouble, and he's just so dumb.
Well, of course, not every 90s cartoon is practically perfect. I mean, like,
I do understand.
Yeah, and I see the question. I did see someone asking, like, what exactly is Bonkers, and he never heard of it. Well, you see, first off, Bonkers, his full name was Bonkers D. Bobcat, and he was a very popular cartoon star. But then, the whole industry has changed, and they don't see him as highly talented anime, and so Bonkers. He decided to become a cop, and so by the time he joined the police force, he became a partner with this detective, and of course this detective was unwillingly to have a cartoon character as a partner to help solve crimes. But then, even though that Bonkers creates so much trouble, I mean, this is what you expect out of the cartoon character. They create trouble for the sake of laughter. That's how all cartoon characters were pretty much raised around then. That's also kind of shares the same basis as Roger Rabbit, whose sole existence is to make people laugh. and now that and of course throughout the entire show they went through several changes. Like they went from a big chubby detective to working with an attractive officer, and it only lasted for like 4 seasons so far. And also ironically, the actor Jim Cummings, he's been voicing the majority of the 90's Disney cartoons back then, and he voices as 2 of the characters as Bonkers and the Detective Lucky. That's his name.
Yeah, I understand that not all 90's cartoons are perfect. You're right about that. That is basically what the show is about, as Rachel put it, what Bonkers is. But the one thing I had to grab about is that even though there's some cameo appearances of the Mad Hatter and, oh my god, I forgot the name of this rabbit character from Alice in Wonderland.
The March Hare?
Yeah, the March Hare, thank you. Even though they made a cameo appearance of the show, but here's the thing, I really despise the fact that, get this, a Disney show that was from Disney actually put their iconic figure, or basically the king of Walt Disney, in a dog cage and putting locks and chains around the kennel and making it assume that he's some delusional animal. That really ticked me off right there. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You just locked up your iconic character. Like, what the hell? I know that's I know that's mean to say, guys. I know, I'm sorry. Maybe that's a bit of my Disney side in there, but I just don't like the show.
It's okay there. I mean, like again, not every 90's cartoon show is practically perfect.
That is
in every way, that is.
Some can stand the test of time. Some of them age well, but still have, how did she put it? A banana with brown spots.
Yeah. And
others, they pretty much just lose their sparkle entirely.
Stormblade's actually made a good address in the podcast. Does anyone remember the show Jackie Chan Adventures? Yes, I have.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we do. That aired on Kids WB.
Yeah, Jackie Chan. That's gotta be one of the most memorable cartoons I could ever think of. They handle a lot of things very well, especially with first off, the most ironic thing is that the main character Jackie wasn't really voiced by Jackie Chan. Kind of weird, isn't it?
No, yeah, I actually agree. It is a little weird, but I really like the show, though, nevertheless. I remember that show.
I think it had to do with Jackie Chan being more of a stunt performer than a voice actor. Not saying he can't voice act, just saying that a show like that called for somebody who can exaggerate acting performances in his voice.
Well, do you think maybe that, and also, because Jackie Chan didn't exactly provide the voice in the show, he did do, on the end of the show segment where he answers their questions.
Yeah. I think I've seen that episode before. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think I've seen his appearance in the final episode, I believe.
Yeah, and I remember, and I remember how, in the very beginning, where they were dealing with the same group of henchmen who were seeking out talismans in order to awaken an evil spirit. And by the time that evil spirit was awakened, that's when that same spirit was taking host on this leader's body, and then and of course, one of those henchmen was later reformed and is now working with Jackie and the rest of his family. And then we have what's her name? Jade. Yeah, I think her name was Jade.
Yes, Jade. She was Jackie's niece on the show.
Yeah, think about Jade there. For a young girl, she keeps disobeying Jackie because because like she wanted to be a part of the action, and she wanted to help up with the solutions, and she did most of that. But also she has a tendency of getting into trouble when she doesn't think herself through.
It's I think she's kind of like the story team took Goslin Mallard from Darkwing Duck, turned her into a human, and gave her black hair. Boom, there's Jay-chan.
And of course, one of my favorite characters was Uncle. Like, one more thing.
And at the beginning of the second season, they had Toru, who was one of the villains from the first season, reform and join Jackie for the remainder of the series, and became Uncle's apprentice in the magic arts.
Right.
Actually, speaking of Uncle, my favorite line from him is, "Aya, Jackie!
Aya!
The way he's
Aya! Do you want Uncle to defeat Demon with salt and pepper? No? Then you go to Bangkok and find out what demon we are facing so I can make a proper remedy!
One more thing.
The one episode I love of Jackie Chan, I'm gonna point this out, is when Jade cloned herself and Jackie Chan was trying so hard to figure out which one was the real thing. He said this: "Whoever is the real Jade is ground." If something about that line is like, if one of you is the real Jade, you are grounded, and guess what? All the clothes point at the real Jade.
Kind of ironic, isn't it?
And the way that Jay says, like, tattletales or slurs or something along those lines. But it was funny, though.
Oh, and some moments like that where Jackie's response is, "You have to be kidding me."
I feel very bad for Jackie Chan having to deal with that. I feel very bad for the man.
Bad day! Bad day! Bad day! Bad day! Bad day!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of different cartoons we all remember, and it's a good thing that we're still watching them even to this day. And it's also kind of point out that while a lot of them are classics, the majority of them are pretty much underrated as it is. And believe me, none of these cartoons should ever felt like they were underrated.
Hold on, I need to address some of the voice actor Bobby G is asking me an MLP question. Who is my favorite pony? Are you talking about normal ponies or princess pony? You need to be specific on that question. But I would say.
I think I don't think it doesn't have to be all specific there. But yeah, go ahead and answer your question there. Sorry.
It's all right, Rachel. Okay. I would say Pinkie Pie. Sorry, I'm going with Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash and Princess Luna. Princess Luna! Wow, that was the worst attempt of impersonating Brawny Buck. That was the worst. Wow.
Well, at least you had the spirit of it.
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
And let's see here. So many. I'm sorry, but picking out my favorite pony, that's really hard to. Actually, I think I could name one thing. I think I can name one pony.
What's that?
Chrysalis.
Okay, if season 9 does show the actual return of King Chrysalis with an actual army and actually create a serious plan of taking over Equestria, I would be content with that. I'll be content with that.
Goodness.
Knowing the story crew, since it'll be the final season, they're probably just gonna give her a very short redemption arc. That's the thing with the villains on MLP. If they don't destroy them, do away with them, they end up redeeming them, making them good guys.
Yeah. Oh, look at Gildedash's statement. That's a very good point. See how we're talking about shows from the 90s and early 2000s? It's kind of like how it would be like with Generation 4 of MLP. It will be talked about for a long time.
Well, that's basically true, and I agree with her. and basically, and also like who knows exactly how Generation 5 is going to present. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. That's the best thing we could do at this point.
Mm.
But here's the thing, though. If Generation 5 is going to be big like Generation 4, there's going to be newcomers, a brony analysis, and reviewers out there. Who knows? Maybe some people like us could jump on that wagon.
Yeah, and I believe they may be reusing our favorite characters in a new pony form, but I don't know exactly how they're going to do that, but again, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep, we will have to wait and see it. Oh, to Storm Blitz, all hail Princess Luna, le true princess.
My goodness.
Amen. Amen, Storm Blitz. She is the true princess.
Okay, now that's a good laugh.
Oh, I could actually try to do Ursula's laugh, but I can't laugh louder because I'm literally outside and the neighbors who start screaming, "Shut the fuck up!"
Ooh, that reminds me, and getting us back on track.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when The Little Mermaid had a TV show?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember very fondly about the one character. What was it? Gabrielle. That's it, Gabrielle. Gabrielle is actually the very first animated deaf character, and so do you guys know exactly how Gabrielle was created?
No.
Okay, well, here's the story about how she was created. So, there was a fan of there's a fan who's watching The Little Mermaid, probably both the TV series and the movie, and she was really sick. And I believe that she wrote a letter to Disney saying how much that she loves the show, and also pointed out the fact that she's deaf. And so due to the surprise, they decided to create a character who was deaf and essentially a deaf mermaid, and was brought along with the show. And about some time after Gabrielle debuted, she passed away. The girl passed away. It is a sad fact. It is, but I brought that as an example of the fact, like how the Little Mermaid, like the staff who created that character for that TV show, brought along the first initiative with to make the Korean cartoon characters more diverse.
Brian Lyon says hello, furballs.
Oh, hang on, guys. I'll be right back.
No worries, take your time. Wait, Brian Lyon, hello, welcome to the podcast, and hello, furballs. That's what Brian Lyon said.
Yeah, he kind of does that. He just jokes around with people that have personas, or anyone with an animal personification.
Well, technically my personas are griffins, so technically I have fur and feathers. Technically. Gilded, I think you made all caps on the E.
Okay, I'm back.
Hello, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, and I also. So we're back to talking to Little Mermaid, right? Yeah, I was walked away a minute ago. Okay. Okay, and one of my favorite episodes also was and also another one of my favorite villain characters was Manta.
Oh, he was one of my favorites too.
Yeah, voiced by none other than Tim Curry. Boy, I'm telling you this, whenever you think of the 90's cartoons, and not to mention of our 90's movies, he almost always betrayed bad guys!
He rarely gets
you know what, that is true.
He rarely gets a chance to be the good guys, but I think the reason why he portrays as a villain is because he has that voice. Like, that intimidation.
But it's also this type where the type of actor who feels who's afraid of being typecast as a villain always, but But I think that Tim Curry, even though he plays as a villain so many times, he tends to be really creative about it.
Well, playing the villain is actually the most fun role in voice acting or stage production.
Yeah, and Tim Curry played as a villain in the Little Mermaid show, and also what was he? Mighty Ducks, one of your favorites, Benny.
Yep, I mentioned before he was the voice of Wraith.
Oh, right.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Tony J. Tim Curry was Lord Dragonus.
Tim Curry, yeah. Voice actor Bobby is right. Tim Curry is awesome. We're not gonna lie, he's pretty good. What show are we talking about now? Is the Little Mermaid show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and also like one of the interesting facts about like how they make the show like acting as a prequel to and maybe sometime in the next couple years or maybe a year before the movie took place, and yet we also got to see how Ariel and Ursula knew each other long before then. So do you think maybe that may have created some kind of plot holes about how they actually knew each other before the movie?
I think so, but you have to understand, like, they actually did a little oopsie poopsie with the origins of how she met Flounder, because one episode it showed how she met Flounder as a child, but in the recent sequel, Ariel's Beginning, it was kind of different. So some episodes of that show could be a little bit irrelevant, but that's just my critical opinion as a reviewer.
Let's see here. Yeah, and yes, and well, at least they kept a couple of the original voice actors in it for the TV series, like Jodie Benson, Samuel E. Wright, Kenneth Mars, may he rest in peace, and Pat Carroll.
Yep, Pat came back to voice Ursula in a few episodes.
Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, and Patty Edwards too as Flotsam and Jetsam too.
Oh. Those poor unfortunate souls.
Oh, okay. I got another interesting question about you guys about another the Little Mermaid character. What do you think about Urchin, the orphan boy?
Okay, how do I just? I really wanted more story. I want more character development with this character because honestly, I can just simply say he was just an underrated character in my opinion. I mean, I kind of like some episodes that he was in, but he rarely was in the show. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad character, but I think the writers could have done more with him to, establish,
character growth.
Exactly. I mean, he was barely in this show, and I'm like, who is this guy? Where'd he come from? How does he know Ariel? Who is this guy? I want to know more.
Does he come back in the other, like the Little Mermaid films? But no, we didn't get the chance to see it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I just remembered something because there's this one particular episode in that whole show was that it's an episode about how this one human who got himself into this submarine to check out the underwater world, and he and Ariel actually met. That human happens to be Hans Christian Andersen.
Yep, I think that episode was a little hint of respect to the author of the novel.
It was.
That was a very good way to do that. But I love the ending message saying, if you want to read the other stories of Hans Christian Andersen's like The Little Mermaid, you could go to your local library. Like, I love that message. Was like telling kids, if you want to read these original stories from Hans Christian Andersen and other books too, go to your local library. That's actually a good hint there.
Yeah, that may have been a good hint here, but I'm pretty sure almost everyone knows what really happened to the Little Mermaid.
Yeah. Sub Shadowlaw. Sorry, that's one of my group of friends over there in the chats. But yeah, I really do agree. But I really think... Oh god, what was I trying to say about that episode? Oh yes. That scene when, you know, Triton helps Hans Christian Andersen out of the submarine, like, you can actually see the bloodshed face. Like, he wants to murder Hans Christian Andersen for, you know, just...
Being human?
Yeah. Like, there has to be more details to try and, like, why he hates humans so much. I get it's because he lost his wife to pirates. I get that part. But that's not
I think that's something that's pretty obvious, you know, even in the first movie. I mean, he's a single dad raising 7 daughters. Of course, he hates humans. Just put 2 and 2 together, you know. I don't hate Ariel's beginnings, but it didn't really need to be... It didn't really need to be explained. It didn't need to be made, that's what I'm saying.
I know that. It means it shouldn't have been established in the first place, because we already got some backstories that have already been explained in the TV show, which I think if people still ask the questions today, some people should have said, look up the show. Talking about the messed up origins of Disney characters? No, Shadowlaw. Basically, we're talking about classical TV shows of the 90s and early 2000s, basically. If you want to hop in this call and just talk about best TV shows, we're right now talking about the Little Mermaid show right now. But back to
actually, Kyle, the last Disney direct-to-video sequel was Cinderella 3.
Yeah, A Twisted Time. It really was.
I actually loved that one.
If you guys want me to make a podcast about that some other time, maybe on either Monday or next week, I could do a Jedi Griffon podcast called Best to Worst Disney Sequels. So we just speak our thoughts of why these certain Disney sequels are bad and why they're good, or a mixture of both, if you will. Catch you all later. I have to... Alright, Gildash, have a good night, man. I mean, girl. Oh, sorry. Have a good night, girl. Sorry.
Peace out.
Wow. I cannot believe I mispronounced your sexual identity, Gildash. I am so sorry. Please have a good one, Gildash. Yeah.
Let's see. Since I guys joined in a little bit later, which shows have you guys talked about already?
Pretty much every show from the 90s.
We started with the Disney Afternoon lineup. You know, Gummy Bears, the original DuckTales, Chip and Dale, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck. We also included Gargoyles, the Mighty Ducks.
And man, I can't believe I missed out on some of those. Dang it.
Don't worry, this podcast is recording, so don't worry, this podcast is live. So once the stream ends, you can just go all the way back to the beginning. And if you want to paste your thoughts on those kind of categories, like paste a timestamp and just speak your thoughts about it.
Maybe. Well, we also been talking about we also end up talking about the WB shows too.
Oh yeah, technically some of the shows from WB, like Jackie Chan Adventures, was basically rerun to Disney XD. No, Toon Disney then Jetix. I hope I can pronounce this correctly.
You got them right.
Ooh, I love DuckTales. I don't blame you, Shadowlaw. DuckTales was a good show. Okay. Wait, hold on. I might join this stream, but I don't know. I would love to talk about my love for Disney shows. Sure thing, voice actor Bobby G. Just tell me, do you have a Skype here, yes or no? Actually, I'll probably search for you real quick. Hang on. Actually, no. Technology is not being my best friend right now. Okay, Bobby.
Sometimes technology sucks.
VA. I need to know one thing, Bobby G. Is this your Skype name? If not, then just place your Skype name below, and I'll add you in. I gotta go to... Oh, before I go, what's everyone's favorite Disney song sung by a villain? Oh.
That's a good
Hellfire.
question.
You're asking a very good question, Stormblitz. Oh, for me, Hellfire by Tony J. I'm sorry.
Hellfire for me.
Well, I do like Hellfire, but I think there's one villain song that I think kind of tops it for me. Let's see. I do love Ursula's Poor Unfortunate
Okay,
Soul.
then it is you. VA Bobby G, okay. And I need a view profile.
And also like one of the neat things about remembering the classic 90s shows like the ones in Disney Afternoon is like, especially when we were younger, and it gave us like a good sense. It technically gives us a good sense of imagination, and it taught us a lot of things about how it like how certain stories were made and how characters are being developed back then, and also for all voice actor nerds out there like me, we're inspired by how many different people, or how not a whole lot of different people get to voice a whole variety of characters. And also, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to trying to chat and
Yeah,
I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, it's all right. It's just like it's just like it inspires us every day, even as we get older, and it's okay to watch them like right this moment, because whenever you watch those shows like that, if it makes you happy back then, it should make you feel happy too. I mean, I feel happy whenever I watch one of my favorite shows of all time too. But regardless whether it be Disney or non-Disney, like I'm pretty flexible with those kinds of cartoons, and it also gives us a certain idea about how certain things were changed coming from back in the 90s to today. Back then, everyone was talking about from DuckTales to Jackie Chan Adventures to even a little bit even going back as far as Rugrats before SpongeBob came along, and now right now we're all talking about Adventure Time, Steven Universe, Star versus the Forces of Evil, that sort of stuff.
Hang on, someone joined in the call. Is this
Hello.
Is this voice actor Bobby G?
Yes, it is voice actor Bobby G.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, Bobby G.
How you
Hi.
doing?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you. You said you want to speak your thoughts about your favorite Disney shows?
I do. So,
Go ahead.
but yes, I enjoy most of the Disney cartoons myself. I remember the Little Mermaid show. I used to watch it as a kid, and I also remember watching what other good shows is out there that I remember? The Gummy Bear show. You guys heard of that?
Gummy Bear Show.
Oh yeah, there's
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare.
Oh.
They are the Gummy Bears.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I absolutely love that show. Me and my girlfriend both loved it. And yes, I'm a big fan of Tailspin and DuckTales and all those good shows in the past. And my favorite character in Tailspin is Don Carnage. And what else? I absolutely love Goof Troop. That's a good show. And have you guys ever heard of the Aladdin TV show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that a while ago.
Awesome. That's a great show too.
Go ahead, you keep talking. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to add Kyle in this.
Oh, no problem, bro.
There we go, Kyle.
Take all the time you need. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But by the way, my favorite Disney villain song, and you're probably gonna be a little shocked, or maybe not, but no one Gaston.
Quick,
Slick as
Gaston.
Gaston. No one's quick as Gaston.
Gaston.
Oh, that doesn't shock me at all.
Relatively thick as Gaston.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
Paragon. You can ask any Tom, Dick, or Stanley.
And they'll tell you whose team they prefer
To be on.
God, we are Disney nerds.
Yes, we are. Power to the nerds.
Lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large.
Oh my goodness, this is a podcast, not a musical.
Yes, agreed.
As a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating.
Welcome aboard, Kyle. Welcome
Oh,
aboard.
whoa,
Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
Have we talked about Timon and Pumbaa yet?
Yes, we have, and I'm
Yes.
welcome to talk about that a moment
Oh.
of time.
Oh man.
No, don't worry, you can speak in my mind. I mean, that's my favorite
Yeah,
show.
we're not going in any particular order, and we're not going to talk about these shows like just one time.
Yeah, I guess that's true, and that's a
Yeah,
good...
this is an unscripted podcast.
Hang on, Shadowlaw, I'll add you in. Stand by. Oh, Shadowlaw.
This is turning into a party here.
Yes, this is an interesting podcast tonight, ladies. and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
almost everybody who is in the chat is coming into the call.
Yeah, oh,
Asante sana, squash banana, we do, be a banana. Asante sana, squash banana, we will be a banana.
Oh boy.
oh Lord.
It's Rafiki! Oh, I just love saying his name. Rafiki.
I had to say it, I'm sorry.
Hello, Shadowlaw, welcome to the call.
Finally!
Hey, Shadowlaw.
What's up, Doc?
What a wonderful phrase!
Hakuna Matata.
Oh, no, don't do that. Don't
Stand by.
You're gonna make
I
me
love-
sing.
I love that song.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
And the
I
dog's
mean,
already barking.
one of the most
Oh,
memorable
no.
songs in Disney history, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is awesome. Oh god.
I mean-
Thank you, Shadowlaw. Now I'm so close to singing the song. Great.
I'm sorry, it's just you guys were having fun, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should turn this into like a freaking musical.
This is a podcast, not a musical, as Rachel put it earlier. This is a
Yes.
podcast.
Is
Yes.
Ben's a musical podcast?
Oh my goodness, there. Well, well, one thing I gotta say, like, aside from Timon and Pumbaa, you get it. There are some songs that are definitely deemed more memorable from coming from our favorite shows.
Hello, Brock McGinnis. Welcome. Wow, this podcast is getting a little bit longer than expected, but it's fine. I'm content with that.
Mm-hmm.
The more the merrier.
Yep.
It's fun.
And a lot of people having a lot to talk about.
You know, the funniest thing about with Ben Mazza is that anything that is like so long, he can just love and tolerate it.
Yes, I can love and tolerate within reason. I do.
Reason.
Now, yes, but back to the classical shows of the 90s. Yeah, speaking, oh god, of Timon and Pumbaa, like, I even did this earlier with the Rafiki, the Sazu intimidations, which I cannot do Sazu. I'm sorry.
I'm here to announce that King Mufasa's on his way. So you better have a good excuse for missing the ceremony this morning.
Come now, Zazu. You made me lose my
lunch.
Ha! You lose more than that when the king gets through with you. He's as mad as a hippo with a hervia.
Ooh, I quiver with fear.
Now, Scar, don't look at me
But
that
you know what?
way. There's only one
You know what?
from
That's
Scar
worse
here.
than mine.
Sasu, I'm afraid you're outnumbered.
Yes, you are outnumbered.
So, getting us back into the topic, 90s and 2000s Disney cartoon shows. One of the few that's actually within the canon of its main film franchise, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Lilo and
yes.
Stitch.
Oh, yeah, man.
He did not say
May
yours.
may I add in that with so many different experiments that Dr. Jumba had created probably long or after he created Stitch, it's hard to keep up like with all those names that Lilo comes up with them.
I know,
You know,
right?
627 experiments.
Okay,
It's
you know
like-
what? This actually brings the question, like, which experiment was like his first ever experiment? Like which one was the first?
I'm gonna go. I need to go ahead and address someone from Brock McGinnis in the chat saying that the Lion King's overrated. Yeah, maybe overrated. But hang on.
I heard that.
Hang on. The Lion King may be overrated, but it is much popular and has many pop culture references than Disney's Frozen.
Yeah.
Really, I thought Jungle Book was like overrated.
Okay, experiment 001, shrink.
Shrink. Oh, I've heard
Right.
of this experiment.
He was designed to shrink and/or enlarge objects.
Oh god, dang, that's a very interesting. That's an
Yeah,
interesting power.
yeah, that's really interesting.
My favorite experiment would be 221, or Sparky, as Layla called him. Like, he actually has a power to create electricity, absorbing it, or causing explosions upon, overcharging.
The show was like the American version of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But-
It's Hamlet with big cats, and we all know the best movie is Hunchback of Notre Dame.
No.
Okay, Bark McGinnis, you're not wrong. It is an underrated Disney gem. I even mentioned this in my video. But the fact is, The Lion King received a lot of respect from critics and from the audience than its associate film Pocahontas at that time.
Mm.
And-
I've done my review on Pocahontas. I even pointed this out. Even though the film was it was an A-OK movie, but it's not a Disney gem in my opinion. But
I agree.
I digress.
And
Oh, yeah.
also, the best Disney movie is, there's so many to choose from.
There's
You
a-
can't really be wrong. It's all just a matter of opinion.
Exactly.
I mean, my honest opinion
I made
is
myself.
that I would say Mulan. You know, my opinion, because I love Mulan.
Mulan's a great film, yes.
Mulan is an underrated gem too. That is another film I'm gonna tap into later on.
By the
but
way,
how-
I dare anybody to watch Mulan
I don't know
without
what to say
singing
about
that I Will Make a Man Out of You song. That is so addicting.
That
Let's
is addicting, especially.
Who is that girl I see?
Did I hear someone ask for America? Let me hear say
Close enough.
A ghost.
Get ready, Mulan. Your salvation is at hand.
Okay, so so
Back to
getting
topic, back to topic.
Yes, back to top.
What were we
yeah, it was
talking
just a Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, I was at the part with the experiment 221 part.
So like as I stated before, there's a whole lot of different experiments created by Dr. Jumba that we all had a hard time keeping up. But there happened to be quite a it had to be quite a few memorable ones, like Experiment 624, aka Angel, who is Stitch's love interest.
I remember Angel. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god! I think
Okay.
that episode. I think that.
Okay,
Hold on.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I got a question about that. Okay, since there are like, Jumbo's experiments. Okay, are any of them like related? Because I'm looking at Angel and Stitch, and I'm like, wait a minute, are you two like related? Or
No.
And
No. He basically made some of them his cousins technically, but they're technically not. Okay, no, that is the worst defense I said. I'm so sorry for that. That is the
It was like in
worst
the
defense.
Hawaii, not in the relatable sense.
oh, he
just
literally said cousins, but then they're not, and I'm like, what?
Wow,
That
dude.
was
it's like
bad. No.
it's like
Let me rephrase
animals
my
of the
words.
same species,
I need
or
Oh,
or
shit.
a similar type of species, like the big cats or the big dogs.
Yeah. Okay. I
Oh,
made
yeah.
an oopsie poopsie, guys. I'm sorry, everybody in the chats. That was a huge oopsie poopsie on my part. That was really poor choice of words. Now,
You're
it's-
fine, dude.
It's inconclusive. I don't know. I have to look into this with some of my sources that watch that show even more closely, but I don't know. I just don't know. If technically Angel and Stitch are cousins, I mean, if they're, oh Lord, how do I describe this? I don't know.
Well, even though the Angel and Stitch look almost a lot alike, I don't think that Dr. Jumba created them using the same genetics.
Exactly. I think that's what I was trying to say, is that they're different.
I mean, think about it. With all those throughout all those experiments, pretty much, because all their genes are completely different. I mean, how else will you explain all their unique talents? With Stitch being completely destructive and has superhuman strength, to Angel, who has the ability to sing that can convert from good to evil, but can convert back into good if she sings them backwards. And then we have Ruben, whose only special skill was to make delicious sandwiches.
Actually, as Jumba Keeper mentioned about 625, he does have the same powers as 626, but here's the problem. As she said, he's only good at making sandwiches because, as Jumba put it, he's basically lazy. Basically.
Yeah.
And by the way, his voice actor, rest in peace, my man.
Yeah, David Ogden Stiers. He was amazing.
Yes, I love him.
Oh, yeah.
Ruben was voiced by Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson.
And
Yeah,
Rob is
Warner.
not dead yet.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for that.
Thank God. He's a great guy.
United States, Canada. I'm not going to sing that. No. I'm not going to sing that.
Dr. Jumbo Jukiba.
Yeah, I had to stop myself from singing Nations of the World from Animaniacs.
Oh, boy.
Wait. Did somebody say Animaniacs?
Animaniacs? Oh, God, no.
And look, I even got yourself a little snack.
No, my family literally forced me into watching Animaniacs. I'm talking about, like, when I was a kid, they literally got a chair, sat me down, tied me, and they just put it on. I was like, no, I don't want to watch this.
Well, basically, my family just makes me watch. Instead of watching Disney shows, like I mentioned earlier in my podcast, I didn't have cable when I was a kid. I didn't get cable till I was in my early teen years. But when I was a child, and aside from living with my grandparents for a little while because of financial situations, but my family just basically makes me watch a lot of VeggieTales. And I mean, a lot.
Oh, dear.
Ungodly amounts of VeggieTales.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
But was it really worth it? Because would you rather watch VeggieTales or Dora the Explorer?
Oh, God, no.
No, Jesus.
No.
Because
It's the
I can't stand sitting in one spot watching a cartoon character speaking Spanish and say, "Do you know which way we need to go?" And then just an awkward pause, and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, what? Is she talking to me or you? I mean, I don't know. I think I broke him.
Oh my God.
Okay, is everybody all right now?
I think so. I think we broke someone.
I think I broke Ben. Don't you break on me. I need you.
Give me a minute, okay? Just give me a minute.
I have an idea of what we can do. Going back to cartoons from the 90s and 2000s.
Please. Okay.
Who here remembers The Legend of Tarzan?
I do.
Oh, yeah. Me,
I do.
Get out of here with that.
I do too.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another show I loved watching growing up.
2 words, 1 family.
Yeah, another one of those underrated cartoons.
Yeah.
I like the movie though. The movie was good. You know, your mom's opinion. Yeah, the movie was good. It was touching to me. But I honestly don't like the actual messed up origins of it. But I just like the actual Disney version of
You're
it.
talking about John Solo, right?
Oh my God! Please do not remind me of that. I mean, that was a terrible messed up origin of Tarzan.
Brock McGinnis is better than. Oh no! Don't you dare bring up that purple dinosaur! Don't you dare,
Oh.
Brock McGinnis!
No, no.
Wait, what? Wait, what? The dinosaur?
It's Griffon! Griffon, hide me! Ah.
Hello, DT Channel Studio. Welcome.
Hey, Dan Timmons, what's up, buddy?
Oh my gosh!
You know,
Well,
you know
some of us are doing okay. Others, I think they need a little fine tuning.
Oh my God!
I want to die.
He said,
Oh, die,
Oh,
die, die, die,
oh,
die,
yeah.
die, 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 die.
"Oh yeah."
So back to like
So,
the Legend of Tarzan, please.
Yeah.
I like the character Queen Law. That is the best villain in that show. is Queen
Yes,
Law.
I remember her.
I remember. She's one of the best original villain characters in the show here, and I also like the fact you know how like certain male villains who fall in love with heroines and they're obsessive with trying to win their heart. Well, Queen Law's like that. Only switch it around, and it was Queen Law, and of course she was really mad with the fact how in the TV series Tarzan and Jane are married. And she constantly tries to keep Jane away from Tarzan, even going as far as to try to kill her.
Yeah.
That's
Damn.
That's obsessive. That's obsessed. That's obsessed.
And I thought Gaston had problems.
Yeah, Gaston. Basically, with Queen Law, it just makes Gaston look like a child's play.
You make Clayton look like a child's play.
And yet, throughout the entire series, like Queen Law is actually the only magical character. Like the leopards that she rules over, she actually casts a magic spell on them to give them like an anthropomorphic form just to serve her.
Yeah.
Much. Which that was kind of pretty dark in my opinion. When I saw this as a kid, of her disintegrating the leopards into dust, I actually legit screamed as a child.
I've put a spell on you, and now you're mine.
You're mine.
And also don't forget about I believe it's one of her last appearances where even though she was turned to dust, her spirit took over Jane.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
That's right. Her spirit entity was trying to possess. Oh god, how did what's this episode portrayed? At the end of the episode, she actually was only possessed by a mouse, but of course it was detained because I think that was her only way of returning to the physical realm, is possessing a body. But the one fact that she possessed Tarzan's body for a bit, it was like, oh shit.
Oh crap.
Like the fact that she was like, ooh, I should have switched my bodies with Tarzan. I feel like a god. I think somewhere around those lines. The way that she was doing the muscular flex with Tarzan's arms. I was like, oh hell. We're getting into some deep dark shit here.
Oh man.
And sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! I was gonna say like this. Does any of you guys remember A Bug's Life?
Huh?
What?
Oh my!
A Bug's Life?
A Bug's Life?
A Bug's Life. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of the first Pixar films.
Yes. And I remember, yeah.
The sun grows the food, the ants pick the food, the grasshoppers eat the food, and the birds eat the
grasshoppers.
Yeah, the grasshoppers. I mean, you should have seen what this blue jay almost did to the hopper. Oh, come on. I think it was adorable. Ow, 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 ow.
I swear.
If I had not promised mother on her deathbed, I would kill you.
I would kill you.
I would kill you.
And believe me, no one appreciates that more than I do.
Shut up.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Okay. So, back to
Sorry, we're getting way too fanboying over Disney stuff. I'm so sorry, everybody in this podcast.
Hey,
well,
it's Disney. There's something for everybody to love.
Well,
exactly.
yeah, and you know what else is there to love in this kind of particular podcast? We all have our way of entertaining ourselves and entertaining them.
Mhm.
Exactly.
True
And each-
that.
Exactly.
And each other.
And
Let's
yes,
just
everybody
put it
in
in
the
my
chats, everybody in the chats, if they start saying things that could maybe, you know, go a little blank for a second, like I did with the stammering, you guys better not be laughing like hyenas over me.
It's not funny.
Okay, you
Not
had to
funny,
say it, Ben.
Ben.
You had to say it.
I admitted in a figure of speech, guys. Figure of speech. Oh boy, this is it's already bad enough that people say I sound like Meatwad, but I mean, come on, guys. I mean, I'm being serious here. I mean, oh, shit. Oh yes, no. Let me finish, people. Thank you. Go ahead, laugh it all out. I know everybody in the chat is laughing, so go ahead and type your reactions to this.
Okay. So, about Tarzan, like,
Yes. Let's
Yeah,
go
you
with the
know-
Tarzan, please.
yes.
Tarzan.
Well, before we getting back to the character part here, just note that like the none of the original cast from the Tarzan film were to reprise their roles in this TV series. Like instead of Rosie O'Donnell voicing Turk, we have April Winchell, and then we have Jim Cummings voicing Tantor, and of course we have completely different voice actors voicing Jane, Tarzan, and Kala, but they also got a good array of really interesting characters and villains as well. One of my most memorable ones as well is who happens to be a villain was Two-Blot.
Oh my gosh, Two-Blot. I remember him.
Oh man,
Voiced by-
that is an interesting character. And
Yeah, I remember Two-Blot. The gorilla.
Yeah, Two-Blot voiced by Keith David, nonetheless, and
A.K.A. Dr. Facilier.
Or Goliath from Gargoyles, but come on, guys. Let Rachel finish. Go ahead, Rachel.
okay.
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm staying this Meatwad's voice until a lot of people in the channel expect me not to. Because I
Sorry.
love voicing as Meatwad.
Goodness.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Okay, well, so Two-Blot is another one of the villains in the Tarzan series, and apparently, like for a long time ago, he tried to take over the leadership of the herd from Kerchak, but ultimately, like he got himself defeated and cast out, especially with how the young Tarzan interfered with that battle there, and of course, like one of the only thing that Kerchak and Two-Blot had in common was that they felt Tarzan did not really belong in the herd because he's in fact human, or as Two-Blot would put it, a hairless runt.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, Two-Blot is one of those vengeful characters and completely obsessive with the fact of how he wants to be a leader of one of those gorilla herds, and he'll stop at nothing to gain what he wants. And all he wants is power and control.
Basically,
Kind of like
he's
Scar.
Yeah, not only like Scar, but basically he just wants to be a dictator for power, as Rachel put it. And not only that, he just wants people to do whatever he says, and if they don't comply, well, you saw how we did in the backstory was basically pinning the other gorillas down and hurting them, basically. He just wants to pick a fight to anybody who dares question his authority.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! I did not even know it was 6:30. I have to do things at 7. Oopsies! I was supposed to be ready. Uh-oh.
No, he said he wasn't ready.
Well, I'm gonna get going myself, guys. So,
Alright. Before we end this podcast, I want to thank everybody here for coming. And yes,
exactly, man. I had fun. Nice to meet you all.
Me too.
Yeah, this was really fun.
This is
Yes.
Hopefully,
Ben, better idea. Like the next podcast, we should totally do like a freaking let's see what you call it, like a actual play, like a Disney play. Like
wow.
We should totally do it. Like literally, like each of us would play as characters, and we will literally entertain people. Like we should totally do that.
Like basically, we'll take whatever the people in the chats request us to voice as a certain characters. Like they want to say certain words within reason, of course. We have the right to say no of words that is extremely inappropriate, or we have the right to say no. But yeah, I get what Shadowlaw is trying to say here. But yeah, we'll see. But I want to thank everybody here for coming in, and this is a good opportunity for me to give a shout out to my Patreon supporter, Kingdom Muse, for her support on Patreon. And if you guys want to be credited as Patreon, please consider supporting me on Patreon, which the link of it can be found in the description. Please, I will actually provide YouTube channels for you guys whenever I get the chance. If not, I'm sorry. It's because of work, and I am busy. I am sorry.
You're fine, bro.
It's okay. It's a
Matata.
priority that should come beforehand.
Yeah, and even though I showed up a little bit later, I actually didn't know that the podcast was going on tonight. But I'm glad I got a chance to join in, and it got to talk about what basically made us nerds to begin with, and we're and let me just say, it is healthy to be a nerd.
Yes, I love being a nerd myself, so
couldn't have said it better myself.
Yes, so I will try to post the updates of the upcoming Jedi Griffon Podcast episode on Twitter, for those who follow me on Twitter, which for those who don't, the link of it is in the description. Yeah, that's basically it. I want to wish you all a good one, and thank you all for coming. Have a good night, everybody.
No problem.